ضيفنا اليوم هو الدكتور بلقاسم حبة، الحائز على أكثر من 1400 براءة وطلبات اختراع عالمية، منها 489 براءة اختراع أمريكية، والذي تم إدراجه ضمن أفضل 100 مخترع في العالم. كما حصل على جوائز وتكريم في العديد من المحافل الدولية. فلنسمع منه إذن. ندعو الدكتور بلقاسم حبة لتقديم كلمته، فليتفضل مشكورا.
معالي الوزراء، ضيوفنا الكرام، الحضر الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. اليوم راح أتكلم بالإنجليزي. The invitation and the fourth industry revolution. قبل ما نبدأ هذه أول مرة نجي لعمان and the picture looks from here great and I have never seen that many knives in my life. So just to be safe, I got me one. So I see my wife here. So a wise man said a long time ago, if your wife is present, you should not talk. Or if you talk, make sure it is very short. So my talk is going to be very short. So the innovation and the fourth industrial revolution, you might know a lot about it, so I'm just going to rehash things. The word innovation for me, I look at it slightly different than most people do. Innovation for me is, what do we do to humankind? When we innovate, we have to make the life of somebody else better. That's the first term for it. The second for it is return on investment. If we help, we get helped also, so financially. So innovation is not one-way highway. So we need to look at it always that way. The Industrial Revolution, we are in the fourth one, you have heard before. And so basically the first, second, third, and fourth, I'm going to go through quickly, for those who are not familiar with it, very quickly what they are. The first Industrial Revolution, and basically came in 1789, and it's based on steams and water, and development of mechanical equipment. That was what drove it for about 100 years. So in 1870, things changed. And what changed it is the appearance of electricity. So electricity came, mass production came, and the division of labor. So basically people start to optimize. The third industrial revolution came in 1969, and that's when the electronics came and the IT came, and the automation, product automation. So you can see the phone. I guess I started in this, my life started here. I was in the middle of, I was born in the middle of the Sahara Desert. I think I match exactly here, in a village that has zero electricity, have no electricity. So I could fit very well with the third generation, I guess. Then the fourth industrial generation. I brought it here because it is not well defined, and a lot of people are asking what it is. So I will take a stab at it. So in 2010 time frame, people start talking about the fourth industrial revolution. It's the fusion of cyberspace and physical space. It sounds like a mouthful thing to say. I will come and explain what it is. It's basically, if I have to simplify it in this A long time ago, when we go to get information, we go to the library. We take the car, we go to the library. Later on, we started having a computer. So you typed in a computer and get the information through Googles and all this. So basically, we're connected to the web through a wire, and we get the outside world. In this, basically, the computer basically become around us. We live in the middle of it. So we're going to have information coming to us from everywhere. And we have to be in the middle of it. That is a simplistic way to, and I will come a little bit and talk. So it's not well defined like the previous one because people don't know where it's going. But few of the parameters that are known that might be very influential in this industrial revolution is the IoT is one, the AI and machine learning, 3D printing, automated objects, virtual reality, nano and bioengineering, and security. Security probably is a big factor because if Big Brother has the handle of it, then you are in trouble. So you have to really know how to handle your security. So I'm going to take a stab at a few of them. IoT is planned to be one of the biggest field, and if you look at it, is $4 to $11 trillion a year. It's a huge business. Just as a reference, the semiconductor industry as a whole is about $500 billion, so it's much bigger than it. So you can imagine why people are interested in it. Three segments seems to be very well lined up for now is the factories that IoT is used to optimize the factories, the human and health and fitness, as a lot of people, you see them with watches, things like that one. And cities is how to improve cities and city services. The other ones are lagging behind it. So what is an IoT? An IoT is no more than a small system. It's a sensor. It senses temperature or gases or vision or anything. And it has a connectivity to space, it has a storage place, and hopefully it has a security somewhere. So it's a point somewhere watching me. So this seems to be working okay, but they are fragmented. So one thing people realize it's missing, intelligence is not connected. So we want that these pieces are around, and each one of them is intelligent to treat whatever it looks at, and it passes to the next, and it passes to the next, and they will be around us and help us to live our lives. I'll give you an example. For example, in the house today, a lot of you might have one remote control or two, one for the light, one for the TV, one for this one. Basically, we are connected to this thing one at a time. And this, what the fourth generation is going to do is basically everything will be feeding to us information whether we want it or not. It's already, we're submerged in it. And I'll give you an example. For example, if I go to, I ask my wife that we want to have specific dinner, the fridge will automatically list the thing, okay, you have all these, but you are missing this. So it already knows, just it hears the stock, it does that for us. If I want to cook something, same thing. Basically, things are around us, listening to us, and helping us to live a better life. Whether it's, so you can imagine how the security goes. In the cities, nowadays most cities are small entities. Departments are independent, and they are solving their problem locally. They are not optimizing, and the machine learning and all that will help all that get together, and the whole city will work in harmony. And so now we go back to AI, artificial intelligence, and there is a big struggle today between two camps. And here is one camp says, let's use all this AI information on the cloud. That means everything that happened goes to the cloud and gets treated, and somebody give me the answers. And other people say, no, 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 I don't trust that. I'm going to do all my AI on the edge. That means like in my house, I will have a chip that deal with all the stuff around my house. I don't want my data to go to anyone. It treats it, and it gives me only the answer, and the answer can be shared with somebody else. So there is a big struggle in the industry in which way to go. Of course, someone like Google will want to go on the cloud, and other people will want to go, and you have to choose. Another thing that's coming, and I believe this one is lagging from a fundamental physics to the equipment itself is lagging. But for me, this is for a third world, might play a big role in solving education. But it will take some time. And what I mean by this VR, AR, MR, those are just different type of using. I don't want to bore you with all this. Autonomous, out of the autonomous, there are so many autonomous things. There is the drone we saw early on that could be used in anything. There is, in the medical thing, you'll find this autonomous machine. But I picked this one because people think that driving a car is a mechanical thing, why a human being should be doing it. So it should be automated. And the car become like a living space. For me, I believe that it's done in a different way. People are thinking otherwise. Why is, if the car can drive by itself, I don't need to have a car myself, because for me, I work, and from my home to wherever is about half an hour. So if I have a car, I go to work and it sits there forever. Then I pick it up later on. My wife does the same thing with her car. So if I have a car that's available, I can get it at every time, I don't need a car. And probably that's the mentality that eventually you don't need cars, and you just, whenever you need a car, you push on your computer, the car shows up. And that will reduce the number of cars on the roads and reduce a lot of problems. So I summarize a little bit what the industry is, and here is some of my observation for you. You are decision makers, and probably you think about this day and night. It's your bread and butter, I guess. These technologies are coming whether we want them or not. So we better get ready for them. What are we doing to get ready for this? This is the question that we have to. Are we teaching our students the right tools? I'll give it a small. The technology is going too fast, and for example, somebody that I was mentioning to somebody that went to school in the early 90s. And whatever they studied, by the time they start working today, their education is useless, because at that time there is no Google, and there is no eBay, and there is no internet. And so literally, we're reaching a point where whatever you study in school, you might not need it in your work, because things has gone so fast. And this is a problematic thing, that how do we teach our kids? The other thing is the workers that we have in factories and all this. If we keep them just come and work, in a few years they will be surpassed and overwhelmed, and they don't know what's happening. So should we be recycling them and preparing to how to recycle them so we can get better workers in the future? My suggestion: invest in smart education of the youth. This is the only solution we have. There is no, you don't have, we reach a level where this technology is based on cognitive knowledge, information, how to handle things. So if we don't have kids from very small age, understanding logic and what to do, we might be behind. So I urge you that in your decision is in schools, we have to teach the kids logic. We have to teach kids how to do business. I was asking you today in the university whether we have classes. I don't know who I asked. Whether we have classes where we teach how to do a startup. What are the rules? How do you do a viable startup that can survive? Those are important things. We should give our youth the correct tool to win. If we stay in the old way of doing it, we might be having problems. Internet, labs, teaching them the right tool, how to do things. And fund impactful program and startup. We need to, I believe in the US, I think it's about like 50% or more are startup. What I call startup is small businesses. They represent over half of the GDP of the country. So if you want an economy that move and survive and flourish, you need all these small startups. You cannot rely on big governmental program to keep things going. So we should help the startup, allow giving them time to fail. It's very important. Why am I saying that one is because if we play safe, we are not going to do big things, big programs that help the country. We'll rely only on solving very tiny things, something that solves something to the corner, and that is not going to create wealth to the country. The last point I'm going to put is startup and idea should be coherent to get bigger pictures. Students are unbelievable. With ideas, they come out of school, they're powered, they have energy, they want to do things, but they're contained within the framework of the school, so they know only. So if you rely on the student to give you ideas, then that's how you're going to raise an economy. It's not going to work. So somebody has to draw the line of a vision and say, this country has a specific, we need to orient this country in specific directions, and those vision and direction should be fed to the student to invent in those areas. But we should not rely on the student that they come up with the final solution to us. And thank you very much.